thankful we have our iRacing Ford in the field tonight, and hopefully we can put on a good show for everybody.
All right, thanks for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Reigning Truck Series champion, ready to go for the 440 grand tonight, guys.
One more of the names we see going to go after it. 30 of them total here. It's a fantastic mix of defending champions, NASCAR stars, local favorites, and a few newcomers all here to do battle tonight. Real quick before we get to the next thing, let's put up the Berlin Raceway text in FloRacing text line. You can text us throughout the show as we do it live, 616-816-7816. And as we have time throughout the evening, we'll say hi to you and acknowledge you and let you know who you're rooting for and where you're watching from, and we'll give you a shout back as we have time. So throughout the broadcast tonight, 616-816-7816. Just keep it within a couple sentences if you could, please, and we'll say hi to you throughout the afternoon.
I think that's the big question I'm really focused on tonight is who's going to stop Hocevar? The guy has won back-to-back premier events here, won the Battle at Berlin for the first time last year, really handled his business with ease in the Money in the Bank this past spring. Fastest car in practice so far today. Andrew Scheid was close. It's a couple hundredths of a second off of Carson Hocevar, but I don't really know if Carson went that hard later on. But one of the guys we expect to go fast and go hard is with Blake Harms down on pit road.
I'm here with Cole Rass. Cole, you had a pretty impressive run last year's 250, running up there with the big guns. Do you think you can do the same tonight?
Yeah, I feel pretty happy. We unloaded and we were a little off and had me a little worried for a little bit, but thankfully the UAR series with Ricky Brooks gave us a lot of practice time. So it was a packed full day, missing yesterday with rain, but I feel a lot happier with it. And granted, this place is so damn tough, so you don't really know what you're going to have come tonight, but hopefully rolling out first here in qualifying on my bad, missing the driver's meeting earlier, but try and go have a good qualifying spot. I think we're doing an invert, if I'm not mistaken, like last year, so try and be in the mix for that and go have a solid run for 250 laps.
Well, you mentioned it with practice being rained out yesterday, condensing everything into one day. Does that kind of make things a little more intense, trying to figure things out quicker?
Yeah, just everything happens at a faster pace, right? Like not so much on the racetrack, but off the racetrack, right? So you have to be very methodical and understand going into last night really of what changes we expected, just with what scenario we had of what the car was feeling. So thankfully I had Gary Crooks for that and Jeff Jefferson. We all put our heads together last night and this morning of what we were hoping to see play out, and we rather quickly had it back in the ball game for us, which is nice. So it was frantic for sure. My guys are a little worn out, but hopefully they're ready for a few stops tonight, put tires on it, and go have a show.
What did you learn from your strong run last year about this track that you're hoping to bring with you tonight?
Man, it changes a lot throughout the night, and I think as I've listened to more and more races back and talking to drivers, I feel like it doesn't stay consistent on how it changes throughout the nightfall. So obviously I don't have a lot of experience on these McCreary tires still. I mean, it's still only one run of those under my belt, but they're a tough tire. Like, they don't have a lot of grip, and you come to a racetrack that's rough and wore out. It's an interesting combination, to say the least, but I love that. It's fun, and it has a really good race product for the fans. So I feel like the things we learned last year is really similar to how we unloaded for the most part. Things we learned earlier in the year on the West Coast didn't necessarily correlate over. So this place is unique in its own for sure, but it's a badass racetrack, to say the least.
We say so too. Cole Raz ready for another strong run tonight, guys.
All right, another one of the guys who we mentioned the tires. Of course, we run the American Racing McCreary tires here, which we have full time for the last couple of years. So a little bit of a different tire scenario than maybe a lot of other tracks throughout the country. So a little bit of a different tire challenge. We'll probably hear that referenced throughout the afternoon and evening as well as the race wears on.
Oh, we talked with Carl Usher last night, the crew chief and spotter there for Austin Hall, and him and Dylan Stovall's crew chief, Ethan, they both said tires. I mean, I know some people are like, oh, they're kind of bored of that conversation, but that's really what it is with this track. And that was even a little bit with the Hoosier tires too, just because how they get chewed up on these long runs. Now the drivers are having to maybe try a different tire. I know some tracks are starting to use McCreary's across the Midwest here. But it's, especially with how hot it's been and how inconsistent the weather has been for the Super Late Model Series on a weekly basis here at Berlin, it's been tough for drivers to maybe get a handle on what their cars can be. Austin Hall even mentioned it. It was the last time he won, it was 90 degrees all day, and then it got down to 75 by the end of the night. Today, it's hot, but it's not as hot as it has been. It's going to be even cooler when we go on. And you know, you saw it, Rick, with the 150. Obviously, we're going 100 longer laps, but with more tires, you can do more strategy, but no matter what, the tires are going to wear by the end of the race.
The tires are going to dictate a lot about this race. We talked about it at the top of the show, is Mother Nature had come through and just thrown the game upside down as well. So I think whoever adapts best to this green racetrack and this ever-changing racetrack because of the weather conditions, as well as manages their tires, all of that will combine into who's going to win our race tonight.
Well, and the other thing, too, is it mentioned a little bit, this race is 100 laps longer than the one we had in the spring for the 150. This race will start when it's light and end when it's dark, right? And the temperatures will change and the weather conditions will change once again. That is an absolute for sure with the length of this race. Where the June race, with 150, it was lighter, much longer, and the race was 100 laps shorter. So this one is guaranteed to start in the light and end in the dark.
And it also rained right before qualifying
Correct.
that day, too. So that real threw a wrench in a lot of people's plans. But the 250, I mean, we always love the 150. It's one of the premier races in all of asphalt late model driving. But the 250, and it's not just because we've had it. I mean, this is the 15th edition. It's been around a lot longer than the Money in the Bank has. But this is a race that you can't really, because 150, it's not a sprint either by any stretch. But for the 250, it's the closest that you're going to see here to a type of, I guess, a normal NASCAR-esque race. You know, Rick, where you're going to see guys have to worry about their tire wear, have to worry about saving their stuff. They can't push, when to push. You know, even for our 75 lappers here, guys have to worry about that weekly. But it's, you know, you can get halfway through the race and all of a sudden, oh, it's a sprint. You're going to have 2 tire stops. You're going to have multiple cautions throughout the race, competition cautions, longer runs throughout for the most part. It requires you to be more than just a race car driver. And it sounds like we got someone on pit road.
Well, I'm just going to say, Tyler, you mentioned 2 tire stops. How about 3 tire stops? We had a lot of teams go with 2, 3 tire stops last year. Certainly threw us for a bit of a loop. And it seems like that might be the general trend this year. So a lot of difficult strategy to keep up on over 250 laps tonight.
Yeah, how many races do you know where they do a 3 tire change, right?
Well, that just shows how unique this track is.
And how unique the strategy is for that matter, too. Yeah, it's almost unheard of, right? You take right sides or forwards or left sides, I mean, but 3? And then the question is, which 3 is it? You'd assume it'd be 2 rights and a left, but maybe not.
I mean, the rights are, Nate and I were talking about this a little bit yesterday. It was 2 rights, and then you could flip the left front back, and you can change up that a little bit. And it really depends on how you rotate your tires, but then you have to worry about that because you have to worry about the stagger of the tire and make sure that's correct. And like I said, Rick, this is where when people say, oh, racing's so easy, turn left. There's a lot of math, there's a lot of science that goes behind it to make sure these cars run and run well.
Not only do they have to run well, but the driver has to understand the racetrack. One thing that I've picked up not only this year, but just even tonight in the last couple hours, I've heard 2 or 3 different descriptions of the racetrack. A D oval, an egg shape, a circle. Everyone,
a rhombus.
Oh, exactly. It's a shape. It's barely a polygon. But everyone sees this racetrack through different eyes, in a different light. We were talking about Tom Boersma, and he has a different racing line to the rest of the competition as well. So not only are they going to adapt to the racetrack, but they have their own flavor and their own taste for the racetrack as well.
We'll take a very quick break and come back and get some more stories as we get ready to qualify here in the next 10 minutes. It's the Tekton. There you see the big Tekton truck, sponsor of not only our weekly race division, but also tonight's Tekton 250. You're watching the Tekton 250 Battle at Berlin on Flow. We'll be right back. And we're back at Berlin Raceway. It is the Tekton 250, the battle at Berlin. Get ready to go at it. And let's go down to Ryan, who's got guy who's all about working around Berlin Raceway.
Yeah, definitely you are right. Eric Jones down here with us. He knows a thing or two about winning here at Berlin Raceway. We talked to some of the past winners here first off, we'll just knock this one out of the way. Talk about the car. Talk about the weird situation that we were in. No practice yesterday. You're one of the outsiders, so a lot of the local guys might have the advantage when it comes to, not having a practice day yesterday, but you guys don't get a practice day, but you get some practice here. How's the car feeling going into qualifying?
Yeah, it's got okay speed, but just kind of fighting to get the balance a little bit better. So this is only the second race we've ran on. This is a new car for us, so we're still kind of trying to figure it out and learning, but definitely a challenging day with the track. It was just low on grip, and it was hot, and with the rain, it changed it. So yeah, it was a lot of kind of unknowns through the day, but I felt like we threw all we could at it to get it closer, and now we'll just get to see kind of where we line up here after qualifying, and then and go through the race.
I'm sure there's a lot of stress on the race day, but maybe leading up to coming here at Berlin, you got a lot of thoughts. You've been here a lot. You've won here many times. Just talk about how special it is coming back to Berlin all these times.
Yeah, I always like coming back. It's definitely one of my favorite short tracks. It's really racy, and there's a lot of strategy to it in the car. It's changed over the years, but it's still really racy and still some strategy to it. So I enjoy that part of it, and it's always a challenge. Always the local guys are good, and there's more and more traveling guys that are getting faster here and getting this place figured out as the years go on. Yeah, you never know who. It seems like it's a little bit different every time depending on how the track is. So we'll just kind of see what happens here as the race goes and who's going to be up front, who's going to be in contention. It was really hard to tell from practice with how short it all was. So obviously I think Carson will be really strong, but I don't know who else we're going to be racing tonight, and I don't really know where our car is going to end up either. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see here as we get going.
Well, you segued pretty well. Carson Hocevar, he won the 150 earlier this year. He won the Battle of Berlin last year, but you have had that week-to-week kind of, you race against him a lot. What's it going to take to beat him? I mean, we saw him doing pretty well in practice. I'm sure he's probably a little comfortable with his car. What's it going to take to beat this guy here today?
Yeah, it's definitely, I think all the Van Dorn stuff is really fast, and they've got a good package right now. So it's hard, this is a real part-time deal for us, so we kind of play catch-up a little bit, I feel like. I think it's kind of doing everything perfect. We got to go make the right choices on when to take tires and when, what adjustments to make with them and what we think the track's going to do. You kind of have a notebook of what it did here last year and how the track changed, so hopefully it's similar to that and we can play it out that way, and hopefully the balance of the car is close. So just got to take it as it comes here and make the right kind of game time calls as the day goes on, and just see where we end up.
Well, guys, in a field full of winners, Eric Jones is one of those, so we'll see how he does here today.
Now, one of the locals he's going to be battling is down with Nate Dreyer with Andrew Scheid.
That's right, Andrew Scheid. He was the runner-up in the Money in the Bank 150, won a couple weeks before that as well, and cars had some pretty good speed today. You were second quickest in the first session, and you even had maybe a little bit older tire set on than some others around you did. Tell us where the speed of the race car's been at. Can you produce a lot of the similar results that you maybe had back in June?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the goal. The goal would be one position up, but I mean, even a top 5 at these events is pretty awesome. So car's been really good today so far. We had a lot of speed in the first session, and then the next 2 sessions we just kind of focused on our long run pace and making sure that the car was dialed in for 250 laps. We got a long ways to go tonight. I feel like we have a really good race pace, and we'll just kind of try and battle through qualifying here, see if a top 10 would be amazing for qualifying here, and then see where we can go in the race.
Tell us about the strategy today. We saw a lot of different strategies a year ago to get guys across the finish line. Is it still up in the air? Does your team have a set plan they're hoping to stick to, or is it really going to come down to when those cautions fall in the way that Berlin, which always loves to just play its own game, develops?
Yeah, no, let's just say we have about 2 or 3 different strategies, and we kind of have our mind made up on one, but I would expect an audible to be called. So, no, we'll just see how the race goes, see what laps the cautions fall on, and you just kind of got to go from there.
All right, Andrew Scheid and the crew getting ready to audible like Peyton Manning out there and try to take home the 40 grand tonight, guys.
All right, one of the guys going to chase after here as qualifying gets underway in just a couple more minutes. We'll take one more short break and come back and get ready to ramp up qualifying for you. Expecting 30 Tekton super late models to take time for the Tekton 250. You're watching the Tekton 250, the Battle of Berlin on Flow. Back in Berlin, it is the Tekton 250, the Battle at Berlin. Matt McAndrew along with Tyler Poole, Rick James up top, bringing you all the action here. Stenerific bringing you the shots, the video shots throughout the evening. Drop us a line, 616-816-7816. Let us know where you're watching tonight and who you're rooting for in the Tekton 250. We'd love to hear from you throughout the night. Well, he's got one win on the season. He's one of the youngest drivers, if not the youngest driver in the field. Nate Dryers with Tyler Lupton.
That's right. We talked to a lot of national stars from NASCAR and beyond, and certainly one that's a future star. The 14-year-old Tyler Lupton already got a win so far on the Urban. One of the great stories this year at Berlin, and run out of this great Van Dorn stable that we know is very fast, and likely there might be a winner that comes out of you and your group. Where's the race car been at so far today? How are you feeling heading into the longest race I know that you've ever run here tonight?
Yeah, practice felt pretty good. I think we were about 8th overall out of everybody, so feeling good about qualifying here. Qualifying means a lot for these long races, just track position, So just, get reps and be ready for the 250 laps later on, which it's going to be a lot of laps, but I'm excited for it.
All right, car's starting to fire. Good luck tonight.
Yep, thank you.
Guys, back up to you. Let's get qualifying rolling.
All right, we're right on time. They dropped the first green flag and the first qualifier of the afternoon for the Tekton 250. Live here on FloRacing. Cole Raz will be the first car to qualify. 27. First of 30 cars scheduled to take qualifying here this afternoon.
Cole Raz, a 5th place finish. He was really good, a driver out of Lake Oswego, Oregon, the first guy to take qualifying, and a guy that might set a time that might last a little bit, given how we see the make ready shoot, the paddock look for this qualifying. So if Raz can set a good time and kind of get good pace, that will be important for him as we get ready for the 250 lap race later on tonight.
I think he's ready for the race tonight, Tyler. I was hearing him speak, and he just spoke with such calmness about him, such a mental preparedness. It almost makes you feel more calm about the driver's effort tonight. He crosses the line and puts in qualifying time.
16:671. Be interesting to see where the times fall. Hot racetrack today. Not as hot as it has been, but certainly hot enough. Basically been sunny all day today, so hot, slick racetrack. Cole Raz 16:671. That'll be the time to beat as we see local driver now Justin Thomas in the 57 car. Regular competitor in the Tekton Super Late Model Division here at Berlin on a weekly basis.
Justin Thomas, a guy that we talked to last night on our special Tekton 250 preview on Trackside Live. You can see a little bit of a hood of his car. He actually sold a lot of sponsors on this 57 car, and former Sportsman driver sets a 16.920. Everyone gets 2 laps. Cole Raz only took 1 lap. Not sure if that was planned or if he just thought maybe.
Did take 2.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he sure did. Yep.
Second time around here for Justin Thomas, goes a little slower, 17.082. So Justin Thomas, a couple top 10 finishes here, looking to maybe make some waves and see another local driver out here. Sean Gibson, a former limited late model driver, driving the 45 car.
Sean looking to make the field this time around in that 45 car, Tyler. He did not start the 24 battle at Berlin, but in 25, looking to change his fortunes
So his warm-up lap is complete. Time to beat 16:671. Gibson, a longtime competitor here at Berlin Raceway on a weekly basis, took more than a decade off, came back and run super late models the last couple of years. 17:076, 17:076.
Did get a 20th place finish in the Money in the Bank this past spring. Obviously, the 250 is a whole different kit and caboodle. For the driver out of Rockford, former limited late model feature winner, as Gibson comes around his second lap. 17:214, so he'll set with his first time, does Sean Gibson. Next car to qualify, one of the drivers that's seen some time in the CRAs, the JEC CRA series. Out of Lapeer, it's Chase Berta.
Lots of laps here in different tracks throughout the state of Michigan from east side of the state, a couple hours east of here. Chase has had some good runs here at other tracks. We'll see what he can do here this afternoon up against some pretty stiff competition, 30 super late models.
A couple of top 10 finishes in 3 Berlin, Battle at Berlin appearances. A 7th place finish in 21 is his best. His first time for qualifying puts him second quick. 16:861 for Chase Berta.
Hugging the bottom of the racetrack like there's no tomorrow, way down on the inside. Almost made contact with that inside wall. We'll see how close he gets here again. Real close again. Get everybody he can from the inside groove. 16:880, near identical time. So Chase Berta, good for second quick so far this afternoon.
He's not going to be the only driver getting that close to the wall. It almost makes you catch your breath each and every single time. Newcomer onto the racetrack, Nick Neri from Palmetto, Florida in that number 17. This is his first Berlin start. Tyler Kuhl, a lot to expect out of this guy here.
Guy who's won Auburndale before in the UARA series, was used to driving the traveling series that's helping us out here today. Looking to set a time here and maybe try to find a way to get around this track quickly. I think for guys like him, that extra day of practice would have helped. But of course, the same goes for what would have happened in the Money in the Bank this past spring. Had to run that race, of course, on a Tuesday night. Nick Neri coming around for his first full lap here, qualifying at Berlin Raceway. He'll go a 17:034. That'll put him 4th among the 5 drivers that have taken to the track here for 250 qualifying.
Yeah, we keep talking about the practice that didn't happen yesterday. I think the only maybe difference would have been, it is an advantage, I would say, for the guys who run this track, as we see Neri runs a 16:967 a little better. The weather conditions, the track conditions would have been so different from yesterday to today. I'm not sure how much of that really would have translated directly. Oh, we learned a ton. Probably some, obviously, but with the amount of rain and the completely different weather conditions we had yesterday, the practice conditions would have been almost night and day difference. So we'll see how much of the practice actually does pan out here as we see Jimmy Tucker, next car to qualify.
Another driver of the CRA, another Michigan driver out of Mount Clemens, Michigan, which is on the east side of the state, making his first appearance here at Berlin Raceway. Race over at Owasso in the Master of the Pros race earlier this season. Comes around with his first lap, 17:133. But you mentioned the track conditions, Matt. Yesterday would have been great for speed because there had been a lot of grip because we had a lot of cloud cover and it was cool air. Today is not that. You see on your screen, there is not it. There is clouds in the sky, but the sun is not behind them right now.
17:121, 17:121. That's qualifying for Jimmy Tucker.
Looking at a driver from another corner of this great country of ours, all the way from Gray, Maine, Austin Terrace visits the West Michigan Autodrome here. He made his Berlin debut last August, and it looks like he's going to put in a time. One thing I'm noticing, Matt, Terrace gets close to the inside wall there, but he's another driver that goes toward of the middle of 3 and 4.
Well, it worked for him a little bit better, 16:902, making the drive from Maine. That's a long way unless you cut through Canada. You can slice a few hours off the trip. That's a long way to drive to get here to West Michigan. We'll see what he can do. Already a decent enough run. Third quick on the afternoon. The 16:952 on the second lap, so near identical times there. So Austin Terrace, third quick so far this afternoon with 7 cars qualified. Again, expecting to take about 30.
Another first timer we're seeing out here out of Berwick, Maine. So another Maine driver. That's super mod country as we growing to know over the last few years here at Berlin. Joey Dwyer in the 7 car making his first appearance, looking to make do. driver that's seen some nice time. He's raced the PASS series, a couple PASS wins, and also a winner of the Greenville Pickens Meltdown back in 2016, one of the other premier asphalt races, late model races here in the great United States.
Great name, too.
The Greenfield Pickens Meltdown.
Yeah.
The Greenville Pickens.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love it. Good for 7th quick, 17:105. Joey Dwyer on the next car to qualify here. Need to take one more lap. See if he can pick it up just a little bit, break out of that 17-second bracket.
Slides a little bit coming out of turn number 4, and a little bit faster, 16.991. That bumps him up to 6th place, just ahead of Sean Gibson. Next driver you see out here, another first-timer. So many first-timers we have here today, and another driver out of Maine. Out of Sabatis, Maine, it's the 23 of Dave Farrington Jr.
Two-time track champion at Oxford Plains. He's going to bring that 23 right on the apron through turn number 4 to turn on the clock. A lot of newcomers. We mentioned that again at the beginning of the show, but it really just kind of opens your eyes to how much fresh blood we get at this racetrack.
Yeah, the last 3-4 qualifiers never raced here. That tells you a lot.
Exactly.
See what Farrington could do on his first lap. Car looked pretty good. Good for 7th quick, 17 seconds flat, 17:0.
How many times have I ever seen a flat time?
Yeah, hardly ever.
Ever.
Yeah. So 671. Cole Raz put out the fastest time. He was the first car out. Farrington runs a 17:1. So that'll keep him 7th quick on the afternoon so far. And we're 1 through the way of qualifying. Once we get Buddy Shepard out to qualify here, next car, the 22 ride, will be 10 in and 20 to go.
All the way out of Bakersfield, California. Guys from Maine, guys from Florida, California. Another one of those drivers using that middle line in 3 and 4 as opposed to hugging all the way on the apron. Tyler Kuhl, he turns on the clock.
Shepard comes here, like you said, from California. 11 ARCA West wins on his career, and also was a track champion at Kern Raceway last season. Looking to try to show he can do it in the Midwest as well. He comes around for his first time, for his first lap of qualifying, and he'll bump up to 3rd quick, 16.865, just a little bit behind Chase Berta for P2.
Certainly a good first lap, 16.8. It is 3rd on the afternoon. Cole Raz still has a 16.67 time to beat. No one's been able to touch that for the first third. Second lap looks good. Even quicker, 16.856. Knocking on the door, but still a couple tenths off. So put Buddy Shepard up into the 2nd position. Scott Thomas, next car to qualify.
A veteran of this track, former sportsman, champion here at Berlin Raceway, a guy that we know all very well. He's raced everything out here, except for mini wedges, because he's a little old for that. Scott Thomas coming around here, the driver out of Hudsonville.
Into that first corner, you see Scott just hugging that yellow line as well. And the Byron Center native all the way out to, well, the apron of the backstretch. Look at how he enters turn 3. Nice and low, he stays hugged into that yellow line out of 4. He'll cross the line, Matt, and it's 16.889.
Yeah, he was a group and a half higher, though. He was not down by the wall. If you notice, he was in a very different spot. Scott's got a lot of laps out here. Maybe his car likes it better, but he's in a look at the difference in positions. He's in a 2 grooves up from the last couple cars we saw. And Scott Thomas, decent run, 16.889. That'll be good for 4th quick so far, 16.889. Cole Raz still got the top point. He did it. He was the first car out, and he's still holding the point for the moment. You see Michael Atwell, who's been here in the past as well. Atwell, 12th car to qualify this afternoon for the Tekton 250.
Two-time Bill Bagley Senior Memorial winner down at Southern Speedway. Finished 4th in last year's race, 10th in the Money in the Bank. So obviously he knows what it takes to run here and run well in these long, almost endurance races for our local drivers. Let's see what he can do on lap number 1. Atwell, the driver out of Naples, Florida, one of the other Floridians here today. He'll go 2nd quick with a 16.833.
Tyler, he knows about these 250s. He won the 2025 Rattler 250 at South Alabama as well. So kind of moving on from the guys that are green to this track, as Atwell crosses the line, here's a guy who has a little more experience winning these long distance events.
975 in the 2nd lap, but still a solid run for Atwell, 16.833. Defending champion of this race, not the defending in terms of last week, but one of the defenders of the crown is this man, the tall man. It's Boris Jurkovic in the 53. back in Berlin to take another shot at the 250.
Has not won at this track since that illustrious win in the Battle at Berlin in 2019. Had a couple of tough wrecks that have kind of kept him off the track, but he is back here. He's won the Winchester 400. He's won many big races around the country. Has not been back to victory lane, though, at Berlin in 6 years.
17.291, so that's pretty far off the pace for Boris. We'll see what he can do on the second lap.
He's only been out here a couple of times this season with our weekly super late model drivers, trying to get this car honed in for this Battle at Berlin. His second time, not much better, 17.312, so that'll keep him 13th out of 13 drivers.
Yeah, obviously not the lap Boris wanted. Next car to qualify, he's won some races here in modifieds and super late models. It's local Blake Rowe in the 57.
Interesting to see his line as well. We saw Boris, who entered turn 3 right on that yellow line. Blake Rowe enters 1 or 2 lanes up the racetrack. A lot of guys really hugging that yellow line in 1 and 2, but you see them vary once they get into our 3rd and 4th corners. For me, I'm just trying to find the difference in the correlation between the guys in the middle lane, the guys in the low lane, and where they end up on the chart. How about second, Tyler Gould?
16.701 for Blake Rowe, just a few hundredths off behind Cole Raz for Blake Rowe. A guy that's kind of struggled in this race in particular. He's won CRA races. He won the West Michigan 100 last year, did Blake Rowe. We'll see what he can do on lap number 2. Not much better, 16.811. That would still keep him up near the top of the field, but a good early qualifying session for Blake Rowe. As you see another guy, another local face here. 2 years ago was the limited late model champion. Now he's back looking for a better finish in the 250. It is Tyler Reisinga, one of the drivers out of Allendale. Talked to him last night on Trackside Live. He's excited. He's hoping he doesn't get in any wrecks or any other mischief this year. We'll see what he can do in the 4 car.
Reisinga's had a super late model experience out here for years. Mentioned the limited late model champion a couple of years ago. Those cars are here tonight. They will preview the race before the 250 tonight. See what Reisinger can do. Still try to beat a 16.671. It's good for 4th quick, 16.836. A lot of cars in the 16.8 so far. Time to beat is still Cole Raz, 16.671. Reisinger's going to have to pick it up 2/10 on this lap for a shot at it. Car looks pretty good. It's 3rd quick, 16.806. 16 out of 6, 3rd quick for Tyler Reisinga.
Just the second guy to really actually go faster on his second lap in qualifying. A guy that actually ran full time here last year at Berlin Raceway, now doing the more traveling stuff, running a little CRA. It's had some success in that series out of Bell River, Ontario, Canada. Driver of the 131 Motorsports Park Machine, it's Chase Pinsino.
Ran Berlin full time last year. This year, not at Berlin full time, racing all over at different events, but did show up for the 250. So Pinsino, year worth of experience here, and then a little bit of extra here. See what he's got for the 250.
And didn't run the 250 last year. His first time, nice ones. 3rd quick right now, 16.785. One of the hosts of our cars here. That car has been tuned a lot. I've seen that hauler drive a lot on I-96 between now and Coopersville. So that car's been worked on, getting ready for a big race like this.
Chase crosses the line, 16.785 is where he stays, and 3rd quickest is his time as we have a new player joining the arena, Matt. Car number 91.
That is Ty Majeski. Talked to him earlier on. The guy that really struggled in his first time at Berlin Raceway. Verbally said it was tough for him, and now he's trying to get a better run at it. He's got the car. He was fast in the last practice session before qualifying, so he's starting to find that speed a little bit. Obviously, you know, it's all about consistency when the green flag drops later on tonight.
Yeah, Majeski looking for a little bit of redemption here. Wasn't sure if we're going to see him back anytime soon, and all of a sudden, here he is. They had a really good run in practice. Expect good things out of him here. It could be fast time. Time to beat 16.671, and he does it. 16.639. Thought it would be close. Majeski to the point for now, as we're just a little bit over halfway. We have the qualifiers in, so a lot of cars to go. But if you're Majeski, at least for the moment, that looks pretty good. Way down to the inside of that wall again. We'll see if he can ice the cake and make it a little faster. About a 10th slower that time. So Ty Majeski, new fast time for the moment.
I think he really almost had to let up, almost hit the wall that time. Car's been worked on by one of the local guys here, the 15 of Seth Christensen, a driver that has some talent, has shown some good runs this season, and a couple of times he's seen here out of Pendergrass, Georgia. Finished 23rd in the Money in the Bank. 17 years old. His best finish this year back on May the 1st, one of our 75-lap features. Finished 4th, so he knows how to run well here, but of course that race, Rick, was a little bit shorter than what we're going to see tonight.
Just a bit. One thing I noticed from Ty Majeski's run that you notice a little bit out of this 15 here is just how fast and how tight they were on turn number 4. Christensen crosses the line with 16.859. It's good enough for 8th quickest. I think we're starting to see a trend between the fastest guys and where they run in that final corner.
So Christensen, 8th quick. We'll see if he can pick it up a little bit slower, but either way, 8th quick so far on the grid with a 16.908 and a 16.856, 859. That'll put him mid-pack for the moment. Next car to qualify, Eric Jones. Don't need to see much else other than the fact it's Eric Jones at Berlin.
One of the 4 drivers to have ever won this race twice. Excuse me, to ever have won, it's going to be both races, the Money in the Bank and Battle at Berlin. Kind of does a little hop, skip in the corner there at turn number 4. We'll see what the driver out of Byron does. A multi-time winner in the NASCAR Cup Series. The guy that has won on the biggest stage and, of course, right here at Berlin Raceway. One of the local favorites every time he comes out here. We'll see what the 4-car can do on lap number 1. Goes a little straight coming out of the corner, and he'll go up to 3rd quick, 16.695.
That's definitely in the wheelhouse. He's certainly close enough to get fast time. Not quite as close to the inside wall as we've seen some of the other cars run. Eric Jones, 3rd quick, though, 16.695.
Slides it a little bit in the corner.
Yeah, slides it a little bit. And 8:01 on the 2nd lap. So Eric Jones now 3rd quick on the afternoon.
Here is a guy that had, let's just say, a less than desirable performance in the Money in the Bank back in June. A guy that has won that race and won this race. Out of Sonoma, Georgia, it's the 26 of Bubba Pollard.
We'll see what kind of line he takes out of turn number 4. Real tight along that wall as he crosses the line. You mentioned he's won here before. He's that 2023 winner as well, and 2-time Money in the Bank winner. He's really looking quick. I want to see just what kind of time he puts up.
They've struggled a little bit the last couple of trips here. Bubba Pollard has. 9th quick, 16.857, 16.857.
Yeah, he wasn't too clean in that corner. You could hear it even how much he had to let off the accelerator in that Ford Mustang. We'll see how he does here on lap number 2. Tries to really dive it in there, sawing at the wheel. The 26 comes across for lap number 2. Not much better, 16.878. However, him and Seth Christensen both, depending on how that invert goes, that might not be a bad spot for Bubba Pollard when the race starts.
We'll see how it gets flipped around here in just a moment. Next car to qualify is Matt Craig in the 44. So he takes his warm-up lap. It's Matt Craig in the 44.
Tight line in turn number 4. We'll see what he can put through. He's looking quick through turn 3. Look how high he gets in the middle of the corner. Not super tight to the wall this time around. Matt McKenzie, he crosses the line for 12th quickest, 16.875.
A guy that's driving out of North Carolina, All-American 400 winner, Florida Governor's Cup winner, Master of the Pros winner. He's won all over the country. Never, though, here at Berlin Raceway. Let's see what he can do on lap number 2. Not much better, 16.945. He's one of those guys that's trying to figure this track out. I can't think, Matt, the last time we had a super late model driver maybe come out here for the first time and win. Maybe since the first time we ever had super late model drivers.
It gets a little tricky when you start getting it, but it's I don't want to say it's impossible, but it just really doesn't happen.
When you have so many other guys that have won here before.
Well, here's a guy who's kind of the opposite. He was the first ever super late model winner here at Berlin Raceway, going back to the early 2000s, mid-2000s. Multi-time champ. His dad is a 10-time champion here, and he's one of the Berlin Raceway Tekton regulars. Won these big events before. It's Brian Campbell.
Campbell is the only driver in the history. Goes fast time. Reza's about to tell you how great he is. 16.597 for Brian Campbell. A multi-time fast qualifier in these premier events. The only driver to have won the Money in the Bank and Battle at Berlin / Route 251. That's what it used to be back in the day. Only driver to do that twice in each. Second time not as fast, 16.669. But once again, P1 right now is Brian Campbell in that 47 car.
How about a young man that everybody has been talking about all season long, joining the arena from Clarkston, Michigan in that black and green Ford T. Tyler Lupton gets a really wide entrance from that back straight into the corner here. He's going to activate our timer. We'll see what kind of time he can put up for tonight's 250.
He won just a few weeks ago. A guy that, is a dark horse in this race. He obviously didn't have a great finish, had an early exit to that Money in the Bank, but he's got a lot of confidence in. It's kind of like the Carson Hocevar story, Matt. A guy that came in here, a kid that came in here as a teenager trying to show up. Goes 6th quick right now with an 16:7:22. Lupton's a guy that we got to keep our eye on here for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great start to his season here. Already bagging 1 win and a couple many top 5s. Way down to the inside. I mean, super close. Try to get a little bit out of it if he can. 16:7:22. That will time that will stick. That's good for 6th quick for the 14-year-old driver.
New player in car 24, Terry Seneker, now joining the field here. See what kind of time he can put up. Kind of excuse me for saying so, but looks like kind of a pedestrian start, or at least launch out of that second corner. We'll see what kind of time he puts up as he starts his time.
Yeah, maybe he's got a little strategy here to keep it a little bit light. Seneker, longtime racer here at Berlin Raceway, former champion as well, and also chassis builder, builds a lot of these cars that are out here. Competing full-time this year in the Tekton Series. Let's see what Terry Seneker can do in the 24.
He's been fast qualifier a couple times for our weekly series. He goes 8th quick right now in a 16:7:86. He's part of that long Seneker lineage. His father, Terry Seneker Sr., of course, his uncle, Bob Seneker, the legend of not just here at Berlin, but all across the country. Trying to do something here today in that 24 car, the car that he helped build as he comes back, 16:7:92, so thousandths of a second slower. I think you wonder if some guys are just trying to kind of figure out the grooves right now, because it's hard, because I always wonder, like, you want to go hard in qualifying, but also you know that what you do in qualifying is not going to be what you're going to do in the race.
100%. From 124 to another 24. How about Dylan Stovall, who now activates his clock here. We'll see what kind of time he can put up in his qualifying run.
Driver out of Wayland, also is a first-time winner this year. Did it on ARCA night back in June. Talked to him last night. He is excited to see what he can do. He had a great battle with Austin Hall. The last time we saw the super late models, his first time, 7th quick, 16:7:66, 16:7:66 for Dylan Stovall.
7th so far out of 20-plus cars that have qualified, 25, so only a handful to go. Stovall coming off a second-place finish a couple weeks ago here at Berlin in the weekly event. Stays with 7th quick. 5 cars left to go if everybody made the call. Another former champion of this race, Evan Shotko in the 22.
Driver out of Coopersville, 22, winner of this race, won the track championship in 2022. Remember, it was a couple of years ago. He only ran part-time, but he seemed like he won every single time. But since then, it has been a struggle for the 22 machine to get that speed, to find that speed. He's ran well the last couple of races, the final tune-ups here for the battle at Berlin. He had some comfort during practice today. Now it's all about what he can do in qualifying and for the $40,000 purse later on tonight. First lap for Evan Shotko puts him 7th quick, 16:7:64, just ahead of Dylan Stovall and right behind Tyler Lupton. Let's see if Shotko can make it better in lap number 2.
Great deep entrance into turn number 3, still staying 1 or 2 lanes up. He's going to grab the apron out of 4, and as the checkered flag flies, Evan will cross the line 7th quickest. 16:73 is his best time.
So one of the former champions of this race goes 7th quick. Your current point leader in the super late model division here at Berlin Raceway is this gentleman, 3-time winner so far this season. It's Austin Hall in the 20.
A guy that is not angry that we didn't have practice yesterday. We had him on Trackside Live last week and last night. He said he really likes the one-day shows. However, he's been struggling with the car in practice today. He hasn't quite been able to get comfortable with it. This is the Gen 6 car that he won with the last time out, beat Dylan Stovall in a thrilling end to that race a week and a half ago. We'll see what he can do. Gets a little bit of a straight edge there. Sawing at the wheel coming out of turn number 4. He'll go 3rd quick, though, regardless. 3rd quick for Austin Hall right now, 16:6:61.
Got to pick off about 5/1000ths of a second here if he could take a shot at the top speed. 16:5:97 held by Brian Campbell. We'll see at the second lap is a 7:61. So regardless, a good solid run. Top 5 run for the moment for Austin Hall in the 20 with only a handful of cars to go.
And a slow exit out of the gate for the 131 coming out onto the field now here.
Should be Kyle Crump.
Kyle Crump, a guy that has won this race before, the driver out of Brighton, Michigan. That's Ryan Pilon country, Brighton, Michigan. won this race back in 2021, has raced this car, he's raced the number 90, he's raced many different machines here. He is looking to find a way to get back up to the front. Had a 19th place finish in the race last year and 14th in the Money in the Bank.
So we'll see what Crump can do on this lap. He's been quick throughout practice. It's good for 12 quick, 16.797. That's 16.797 for Crump. So in the wheelhouse, but he's going to have to pick it up about 2/10 for a shot at fast time. See what he can do this time by. For Crump, second lap, 8:31. So it's going to keep him 12 quick. That might be depending on where the inversion ends up, that might be a good spot. We'll find out as it gets shaken out. Another Berlin local ready to qualify next, Andrew Scheid in the 88.
One win this year, 4 times a winner in the Super Late Model Features. Right now, 5th in points. Finished second to Brian Campbell last year in the Tekton Super Late Model Series here at Berlin. The guy that you know has the car, has the speed when the car is at its peak to find a way to be there near the end. Had a really good run at the Money in the Bank. Finished second behind Carson Hocevar. What can he do this time in the battle at Berlin? 250 laps. Lap number 1 here at qualifying for Andrew Scheid. He goes third quick, 16.641. Not too far off of Campbell and Majeski.
Great. So, yeah, so Scheid a solid run, 6:41. Second laps typically haven't been faster, so we'll see what he can muster out. It's not going to take much more to have a shot at fast time. And 8:08, a little bit off there. With only 1 car left to qualify, put Scheid third quick. This is going to be interesting, guys, because Campbell, we talked to him, Blake talked to him in the open. He said he didn't think they'd qualify very good. He thought he'd be maybe 10th, maybe in the top 10, he thought. Now we're looking at Campbell, probably has the most super late model laps of anybody out here, going up against Carson Hocevar, who is, of course, won a championship here in the past, but has gone on to many other things that we know about. So it's going to be interesting to see if the final qualifier, if Hocevar can do it and knock him off.
Looking to become just the second guy ever to join Campbell in that class of having won the Money in the Bank and Battle at Berlin's twice in his career. Trying to become the first back-to-back winner of this race in a very, very long time. Comes out of turn number 4, all 4 wheels below the yellow line. His first time for Carson Hocevar, only 8th quick at the 16.710.
I believe he shut it down, guys.
Yeah. That thing got, I did not hear anything coming out of that 71 car, so one and done maybe for Carson Hocevar?
One and done for the moment anyway. That puts Brian Campbell fast time.
Again.
Wow. Good run for the local Brian Campbell with a 16.597. Ty Majeski, great run for him second. Andrew Scheid third. Austin Hull. Cole Raz, Eric Jones. Blake Rowe, Carson Hocevar, Tyler Lupton, and Evan Shotko.
Looking at Dylan Stovall in 11th, Chase Pinson, Terry Seneca in 13th, Kyle Crump, Tyler Reisinger in that 15th position, Michael Atwell 16th, Buddy Shepard 17th, Bubba Pollard, Seth Christensen, and Chase Berta round out the top 20.
Matt Craig sits 21st in the 44th, Scott Thomas, Austin Terrace, Justin Thomas, Nick Neri in 25th. Joey Dwarin and Dave Farrington Jr., Sean Gibson, Jimmy Tucker, and Boris Yurkovic round out the 30-car field for the Tekton 250 Battle at Berlin.
Wow, that's a little bit of everything there, guys. We got one of the former champions of this race qualified, the slowest of the group. We had the former defending champ of this race come out and only run one qualifying lap. So lots of stories to cover, and we'll do it all for you next. We'll take a break and come back, and we'll do the follow-up and get the whole stories as now qualifying is underway. But fast time, the local, Brian Campbell, 16.597. We'll be right back.
Try the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Text the keyword to get the works, our best wash on us.
Rusty Wallace here. Invite you to join me on the Sturgis Buffalo Chips Rusty Wallace Charity Ride, presented by Harley-Davidson on Friday, August the 8th during the 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Ride with me and my friends on a route I personally selected through the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. You'll also have a chance to win a custom-designed Harley-Davidson built by Southern Country Customs. All proceeds from the ride and auction will benefit the NASCAR Foundation and Special Olympics of South Dakota. Sign up now and reserve your spot today at rustywallaceride.com.
VFIS proudly pioneered specialized insurance protections for America's emergency service organizations over 50 years ago. As an independent producer for the country's largest insurance provider for firefighters, EMS personnel, and other first responders, we help bring Michigan's first responders peace of mind so they can focus on what matters. VFIS of Michigan, family owned, Michigan proud, protecting our heroes since 1979.
And you're back at Berlin Raceway. Qualifying just wrapped up. Local favorite Brian Campbell runs fast time for the 250. We'll cover all those stories for you in a minute. It is the Tekton 250. You see the battle at Berlin, and there you see Tekton gang there, and those are the prizes you win. They're giving away a toolbox to the fans, and if you win that race, you get the giant toolbox as well. Pretty cool stuff. So Tekton Tools right here local to West Michigan, really stepping up and making this pretty special for us tonight. So thanks again for Tekton for bringing us this race, of course, and pretty cool prizes. The gang down there, the Tekton gang, really stepped up for the Super Late Model program here at Berlin.
It's going to be interesting because I remember Bubba Pollard made a joke about that in the past of trying to get that thing, and he might say, like, I think he had to get it shipped up or shipped down.
Oh, the toolbox?
Yeah. Because these haulers, I mean, they see them now. They see these empty haulers.
That toolbox is huge. Did you see it?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And it's hard to get those things into your haulers.
Delivery truck. There it is. I don't know if you get free delivery with the toolbox, but they certainly can bring it.
I was joking. Can you take the truck too if you win? If you win by more than 5 seconds, you get the truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, we'll have to work on that. Thanks again to Tekton Tools for bringing us this fantastic event. That's pretty good stuff. And
Rick, did you sign up for to win the other toolbox, the fan one, the smaller one?
I did not know that was an option. I need a new ratchet set, so I might not need to sign up for that.
Oh, we don't know if we legally can. I guess since we work here, I guess we couldn't. I forgot, Matt. We're radio people. We should know that since we work for the company, we can't ever win prizes.
That didn't stop people before. They just went to the shed and took them right when everybody left. That's how it worked.
Just
back
use
then.
different names.
Exactly, right. Well, congratulations to Brian Campbell. Well, the way he talked, we'll follow up with him right now. The way he's talking when the pre-race, it kind of made it sound like, he just kind of be hanging around 10th or whatever. Yeah, it comes out run fast times. He's down with Nate.
Yeah, that's right. Hanging around 10th. We'll see what kind of speed the car has. Obviously had pretty good speed. Wind up being the fast qualifier, an extra $1,000 richer. Take us through the run.
Yeah, that surprised us. We weren't really anticipating that. We knew we had top 10, top 5 speed, all day. But we weren't anticipating it. We figured like a lot of other cars had more, raw speed than we did, and we didn't really work on qualifying runs that much. I mean, we threw a set of tires on late, so yeah, it surprised us as well.
Well, you do have 250 laps now. I talked to you after the race a couple weeks ago. You said you and the team starting to close in on finding that window in terms of race pace. You said you worked on it today. Do you think the car lines up just as well for the 250s as it did for a couple laps out there a few minutes ago?
Yeah, sun goes down, this place is going to get different, and that's what we, trying to shoot for. So, yeah, we did a lot of work today. 3 sessions, we worked our butts off, and we made gains, and we're hopefully being victory lane here a little bit.
All right, the 47 car's got a lot of speed, and the inaugural and 2-time winner is looking for a third $40,000 in Tekton 250 tonight.
All right, certainly one of the local favorites is going to have a shot at it tonight. Will be Brian Campbell for sure, or the Tekton 250, which will kick off here about an hour from now, hour and a half maybe. We see all the cars getting lined up. We do have a limited late model race, which we'll cover here for you in about 20 minutes. That'll kick off tonight's 40-lap main event for them, and then we go right into the 250.
That limited late model race has some importance as well because we have a really tight points race, a track points race. Josh Fry trying to hold on. But before we talk about limited late models, talk about a guy that is, we'll never say has limited success here. He has got a lot of success here. He's the driver of the 71 car. He is 8th, and he might be starting on the pole. Ryan Pilons with Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, we're down here with Carson Hocevar. Fastest, 8th fastest. Pretty good, but there might have been some technique. People might behind back, I don't even know. But just talk through that lap, why you shut it down. Just go through all that, what we just saw out there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody goes slower on second lap here. It doesn't didn't seem like it was going to be worth anything. So I only planned on doing 1 lap, and it worked out perfectly. That it looked like we timed it out, that we ran 1 lap, didn't do a second, and now we get to start on the pole because of the invert. So yeah, it worked out well. Normally I'm starting like 8th to 10th at these races, so you know, hopefully it's you know, we can keep the 71 out front all day and you know, have 250 hopefully laps led. I wish there was laps, but yeah, 40 grand at the end of 250.
Well, you mentioned that you normally start earlier back, but now you're on the front. How does your mindset change going into how you know this car feels, and now that you're in the clean air, how do you tackle that? I mean, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with starting up front and knowing what to do, but talk us through what's going to be going through your head right at the start of this race.
Yeah, it's just going to be all about managing the pace and tires, and knowing that you have 250 laps to take care of your your tires, of when you want to pit and how you want to pit it. That you depending on if you take lefts or rights or early or late, you might have to go really long on your left side tires. So you just want to be able to control the pace, and the biggest thing is if we're really good, you don't want to get too far out there. But also it's going to be tough a little bit because there's going to be 2 or 3 times people are going to come in and work on their stuff, and hopefully we're staying out front. But also too, I don't get to see anybody else's cars for at least a little bit to know where I'm lacking compared to them. So I got to be really detailed of when we come in, how to keep adjusting on our car so they don't get faster behind us.
Well, a lot of us know, but maybe some of them out there don't know. You're very familiar with this track. It's a home track. You come here basically every year. You've won races here before. How special is it coming back to a race that you have won before and a track that you know and love?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to come here and just see the hometown crowd, friends, family that I grew up racing with, people that are new, old. It's always funny sometimes when they didn't like me when I was a kid, or they like me now, or vice versa. So, but it's always fun to be here, and I get to go home and see my family and go to my childhood hometown. No hotel and no motorhome or anything when I come here, which is the most fun.
Well, you're 8th fastest, and it looks like you might be starting on the pole. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
Guys?
All right, Carson, one of those guys that's going to do battle, certainly knows his way around here. So interesting. His strategy all along was to run 1 lap, and second laps aren't faster. So, okay, we'll buy it, I guess. Either way it worked. He's going to start on the front row.
Yeah, that's a spot that car wants to be at when that car gets in clean air, Rick. I mean, we saw it, the Money in the Bank, big win, convincing win. Same thing in the battle at Berlin last year. When that 71 gets in clean air, even with lap traffic, it's very tough to slow down that Harold Ziegler machine.
Check a couple of text messages that came in. Drop us a line. Let us know where you're watching the 250 day, the Texan 250. Hello from Martin, hello from Maine. I'm sorry, or close enough, Maine. Jeff and Michelle Rice. Let's go Austin Terrace. Good luck. Got Ben watching from Pensacola, Florida. We're working on Bubba Pollard and Ty Majeski. Justin from Fort Wayne, rooting on Carson Hocevar. More greetings from Winterport, Maine. We're rooting on Austin Terrace. Hello, thank you so much, guys. Got Kelly Green from Gray, Georgia. Thanks for checking in as well. Lots of representation from all over country, especially the Northeast. But let's go back to some local representation. Not the Northeast, I guess, but maybe a few miles down the road, former champion of this race. Another one is Blake's with Evan Chaco.
That's right. We watched you here in Victory Lane just a few short years ago in this race. You had a pretty good run tonight. What do you make of your car and your qualifying effort?
Yeah, I think we have a really good long run car. We've been working on the long run stuff all day, so to qualify 10th, we're pretty happy with that. We're just excited to be here. It's always a fun race to be a part of.
So when you have, I asked Brian this, when you have a day show like this instead of a 2-day show, does that kind of condense? Do you have to learn more quickly, or are you already you already know what you have rolling in on a day like today?
Well, I feel like because I'm a local and half the field is locals, all of us locals have a pretty big advantage on all the outsiders. Our practice time was basically cut in half. A lot of us, we practice out here once a week all summer long, so I feel like we got a pretty big advantage on them, but they're good teams, so get it figured out in a hurry.
What are you hoping for tonight? How do you expect the race is going to progress?
We're hoping to win. That's it. I'm expecting everybody to be pretty patient, at least the first half of the race.
Solid run for Evan. We'll see if he can return to victory lane at the Battle at Berlin tonight.
All right, another guy who knows how to get around, one of the locals, as they say. So you see the Tekton truck up there as well. Good luck to him tonight. Check a few more messages that came in. We've got Ali from North Conway, New Hampshire checking in. Rob from New Jersey checking in. Thank you so much, Rob. Got Rod, Ray, and Darlene from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thank you so much. Also watching from Monroe, Washington. Rooting on Cole Raz. We got the hello from Cedarburg, Wisconsin. All right, Nick Neer going for the win today. All right, got Mike and Kelsey Ordway watching from Wyndon, Maine. All right, turn our buddy Austin. A lot of Northeast representation checking in. Thanks you.